Here in the profound quiet of the earth's deep places we find a story, not of stone and not of darkness, but of the human spirit. Imagine a young man, David, seeking sanctuary not in a grand palace, but in the cold, damp embrace of a cave. Outside, the world is filled with threat and uncertainty. King Saul, a man of immense power, pursues him with relentless determination. The air itself seems to carry the whispers of danger, a constant reminder that his life hangs by the most slender of threads. In this solitary confinement, fear is a living thing, a shadow that clings to the walls and fills the echoing silence. It is a place where hope could easily wither and die, starved of light and warmth. Yet it is in this very crucible of fear that something remarkable begins to unfold. David does not surrender to despair. Instead, he turns his gaze inward and upward, seeking a refuge that no earthly king can breach. He finds his shelter not in the rock formations around him, but in the shadow of God's wings. This is a powerful image, a testament to a trust that transcends the immediate physical world. It is a deliberate choice to believe that even here, in this forgotten corner of the wilderness, he is not alone. His heart, though perhaps beating with the adrenaline of a hunted creature, finds a deeper, more profound stillness in this reliance on a divine protector. This act of finding refuge is a fundamental instinct. A small creature, when faced with a predator, will dart into the nearest burrow or crevice, seeking safety in the earth's embrace. For David, the cave is both a physical and a spiritual haven. He acknowledges his vulnerability, his complete inability to save himself from the forces arrayed against him. It is this profound humility that opens the door to an even more profound faith. He cries out, "Have mercy on me, O God, have mercy." Not as a cry of defeat, but as a declaration of dependence. He is placing his very existence into hands far greater and more capable than his own. The darkness of the cave then becomes a canvas upon which a different kind of light can be seen. It is the light of unwavering trust. David's prayer is not a desperate last-ditch effort. It is a calm and steady anchoring of his soul. He has made his choice. While the world outside is a storm of chaos and malice, his inner world is becoming a sanctuary of peace. He has decided that God's protection is more real than Saul's army, that divine mercy is a stronger fortress than any mountain. This is the very beginning of his journey through the psalm, a journey that starts in a place of peril but is founded on a bedrock of unshakable faith. In the heart of this desolate solitude, something extraordinary occurs. David does not simply wait in silence for the danger to pass. He begins to sing. Not a hushed, fearful whisper, but a resolute melody of praise. His voice, at first a quiet hum, grows in strength, filling the cavernous space with a declaration of faith. He proclaims, "My heart is steadfast, it is fixed on God," a remarkable act of defiance against circumstances that seek to crush him. A choice: fill the darkness not with anxieties but with worship, turning a tomb of fear into a cathedral of hope. Praise in peril is one of the most powerful choices a living being can make. An assertion: inner state is not dictated by external conditions. David is surrounded by what he calls lions, men with teeth like spears, men with teeth like arrows, men whose tongues are like sharp swords. He is acutely aware of the mortal danger, and yet he lifts his voice in song. The act transforms him. No longer just a victim hiding now, a worshipper communing with God. The air, moments before thick with tension, now vibrates with a different energy, the energy of praise. This song is not born of ignorance or denial, but from a deep, abiding conviction in God's sovereignty. David sings, "Be exalted, O God, above the heavens, let your glory be over all the earth." He shifts his focus. Instead of magnifying problems, he magnifies God. He remembers the turmoil on the ground, the political machinations, the personal vendettas are under a power far greater. His praise becomes a lens that corrects perspective, making troubles appear smaller beside divine majesty. This melody in the dark is a lesson for all time. Hope is not absence of trouble, but presence of faith within it. His steadfast heart is not a gift given, but a state he cultivates through worship. He prepares his heart to sing, to give praise, even before rescue comes. He doesn't wait for danger to pass to be grateful. He's grateful amid danger, trusting the dawn will break. Deep, resonant music of a soul found its true north, a melody that cannot be silenced by passing storms. David's description of his enemies is vivid and primal. He feels as though he is lying down among lions, fierce predators that are hungry for his life. This is not a mere poetic flourish. It is a raw and honest depiction of the terror he feels. The men who hunt him are not simply opponents, they are portrayed as ravenous beasts. Their words are not just lies, they are weapons, sharp as spears, swords designed to tear him apart. He feels the heat of their breath, the constant threat of their presence. The world for him has become a wild and hostile place. Every shadow could conceal a predator. Every sound could signal his end. Every sense is heightened, listening for the snap of a twig, the scrape of a sandal on rock.
Yet, David does something that defies this instinct. Even as he describes the lions and their sharp teeth, his focus pivots with breathtaking speed. He interrupts his own description of fear with an exclamation of worship. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens.
It is as if he cannot speak of the danger for long without also speaking of his God. This juxtaposition is the very essence of his faith. The reality of the lions is undeniable, but the reality of God is greater. He is effectively saying that while the lions are real, God is more real. While their teeth are sharp, God's power is sharper. This act of praise becomes his shield. It protects his heart from being consumed by fear and his mind from being paralyzed by anxiety. It is a spiritual fortress he builds around himself, a sanctuary that his enemies cannot penetrate. The praise is not a denial of the danger, but a declaration that the danger does not have the final word. We see this pattern throughout Psalm 57. David acknowledges the trap his enemies have set for him, the pit they have dug in his path. He sees it clearly. He knows their intent is to cause him to stumble and fall. But in the very next breath, he expresses confidence that they themselves will fall into the pit they have created. This is not wishful thinking. It is a profound trust in a moral order to the universe, an order governed by a just God. His praise is an affirmation of this order. It is a song that declares, even from within the lion's den, that justice will prevail and that God's glory will ultimately cover all the earth. As the psalm progresses, a tangible shift occurs. The mood transforms from hopeful endurance to certain victory. David declares, "I will awaken the dawn." This is a stunning, decisive claim. He's no longer passive. He's an active participant in the morning's coming. He will greet the new day with a harp. He will greet the new day with a lyre. A song is already on his lips. This is the sound of a man who knows the night is ending. The cave's darkness once seemed permanent. Now it's revealed as a temporary shelter, a place of transition before the inevitable light. He glimpses the sunrise before it crests the horizon. This awakening symbolizes deep internal transformation. Fear and uncertainty are replaced by resolute, joyful confidence. He's no longer just holding on. He is ready to celebrate. His praise is no longer a quiet melody in a dark cave. It becomes a grand symphony for all the nations. He vows to give thanks among the peoples. He will sing praises among the nations. His vision's scope expands dramatically. His personal deliverance becomes a universal testimony. The reason for this joy lies in God's character. He sings of God's steadfast love, great to the heavens. He sings of God's faithfulness, reaching to the clouds. These are vast, immeasurable, all-encompassing. David experienced this love and faithfulness in the cave. He now sees it as a force governing the cosmos. His rescue is one small example of a grander truth. The God who sheltered him in the rock is the God whose glory fills the universe. The psalm repeats the refrain, "Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth." But now it carries new weight. The first time it was a cry of faith within struggle. Now it is a shout of triumph from the other side. It fulfills the hope he held in darkness. Faith isn't ignoring the darkness, it's singing in it, confident the Creator will bring the dawn. Praise is the language of hope. Hope is the certainty of morning. Now our journey takes us from the quiet solitude of the cave to the noisy halls of human power. In Psalm 58, David's tone shifts dramatically. He is no longer a man in hiding, but a prophet confronting a corrupt system. He addresses the rulers, the gods of the earth. Do you rulers indeed speak justly? The question hangs in the air, heavy with accusation. He is challenging those in authority. The judges, the kings, the powerful figures who are supposed to be the guardians of fairness and righteousness. Their primary duty is to uphold justice. Yet David implies they have failed spectacularly. He observes their actions and finds not justice, but a deliberate and calculated perversion of it. He says that in their hearts they devise injustice, and with their hands they dole out violence across the land. This is a damning portrait of systemic corruption. The very people entrusted with maintaining order are the ones spreading chaos. Their decisions are not born from wisdom or a desire for the common good, but from wicked hearts. David exposes the deep-rooted nature of this wickedness. He describes these unjust rulers as being estranged from birth, as going astray from the moment they are born, speaking lies. David's language becomes visceral. He compares their poison to a serpent, specifically a deaf cobra that stops its ears. This imagery is potent. Their words and actions are venomous, designed to inflict pain and death like a deaf cobra that cannot be charmed by music. These rulers are closed off to appeals for reason, mercy, or justice. No song of truth, no plea from the oppressed. They have made themselves deaf to cries of the harmed. This deafness is willful. They refuse to listen to the charmer, the prophet, the wise counselor, the voice of their own conscience. By stopping their ears, they choose destruction. This makes them dangerous. They are resolute in wickedness. Cruelty is their core motivation, immune to persuasion, and devoted to corrupt agendas faced with intractable evil. David's prayer becomes direct. He does not seek persuasion. He asks God to intervene decisively. "O God, break the teeth in their mouths, tear out the fangs of the young lions, O Lord." This is not a gentle request, a desperate plea to disarm oppressors. He sees them as predators, lions, serpents. He asks God to remove their ability to harm, not for enlightenment, but immediate neutralization. This raw prayer reflects deep anguish, the cry of one who has seen unchecked power and venomous leadership. Sometimes only powerful intervention can render oppressors harmless. His prayer is not personal vengeance, it is a plea for protection of the vulnerable, asking God to do what no human can, break the fangs so the flock is safe. David continues his prayer with a series of powerful images, asking that the wicked would simply vanish from the world. He prays that they would be like water that flows away, disappearing into the earth without a trace. This metaphor really speaks to a desire for their influence to be completely and permanently erased. Just as a puddle evaporates under the sun, he asks that these powerful, seemingly permanent figures of authority would simply cease to be. He also compares them to a snail that melts away as it moves, leaving nothing behind but a transient slime. It is a wish for their corrupt legacy to dissolve into nothingness. He further asks that their plans would come to nothing. When the wicked draw their bow to shoot their arrows, he prays that the arrows would be blunted and useless. This is a prayer against the effectiveness of their evil. It is a request for their malicious schemes to fail, for their carefully aimed attacks to fall harmlessly to the ground. David asks God to dismantle their capacity for harm, to ensure that all their plotting and scheming results in complete and utter failure. The imagery becomes even more dramatic as he wishes them to be like a stillborn child that never sees the sun. This is a stark and honestly unsettling metaphor, but it communicates the depth of his desire for their evil to be non-existent. He wishes that their reign of terror had never even begun, that their darkness had never blotted out the light. It is a cry for a world that has not been scarred by their presence. This is not born from a place of casual hatred, but from the profound pain of witnessing the suffering they cause. He longs for a reality where their destructive influence has been entirely preempted. These prayers are not merely angry outbursts, they are expressions of a profound faith in God's power to restore order. David is calling upon the ultimate judge to intervene in a situation that is honestly beyond human control. He is acknowledging that these wicked rulers are too powerful, too entrenched, and too deaf to be dealt with by ordinary means. Therefore, he turns to the one power in the universe who can make them vanish like water, blunt their arrows, and render their existence null. It is a radical prayer for a radical cleansing, a plea for God to wash the world clean of an intractable and venomous evil. When we place the endings of Psalm 57, Psalm 58 side by side, we witness a beautiful and complementary vision of God's character. The conclusion of Psalm 57 is deeply personal and doxological. It is a song of praise born from a personal experience of deliverance. David's heart is filled with gratitude for his own rescue from the cave, from the hands of his enemies. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. His hope is realized, and it overflows into worship that magnifies God's love and faithfulness. The ending of Psalm 57 is the song of the saved intimate and focused on the relationship between the individual and God. David vows to praise God among the nations, turning his private ordeal into a public testimony. In contrast, the ending of Psalm 58 offers a different, broader perspective. After vividly describing the downfall of the wicked, the psalm concludes with a profound statement about the world's reaction. It says that the righteous will rejoice when they see vengeance done. This is not a celebration of suffering, but a deep, satisfying relief that justice has finally been served. It is the joy of seeing the moral order of the universe affirmed, of knowing that the cries of the oppressed have been heard and answered by a righteous judge. The final verse of Psalm 58 is the grand conclusion. Mankind will say, "Surely there is a reward for the righteous. Surely there is a God who judges on earth." While Psalm 57 celebrates a personal experience of God as a rescuer, Psalm 58 celebrates the universal reality of God as a judge. It promises that a day is coming when everyone will see and acknowledge that living a righteous life is not in vain, and that evil will not have the last word. It affirms that there is a divine authority actively at work in the world, ensuring that justice will ultimately prevail. Together, the two psalms offer a complete picture. God is both a personal savior and a universal judge, offering hope for our individual lives and for the world at large. The final resounding message from these two psalms is one of enduring hope. It is a hope anchored in the unwavering character of God. Psalm 58 concludes with the powerful affirmation, "There is indeed a reward for the righteous." This can often seem distant or doubtful in a world where injustice appears to thrive. We see the wicked prosper, we see the righteous suffer, and we wonder if goodness even matters. David answers with a definitive yes. The reward is not always immediate or material, but it is certain. Vindication, protection, ultimate peace. This reward is tied to the verse, "Surely there is a God who judges on earth." The hope of the righteous is not vague optimism. It is confident trust in a judge who sees everything. He is not distant or uninterested. He is actively involved in human affairs. He sees corruption in rulers. He hears the cries of the oppressed. He keeps a perfect record. The judge guarantees the moral scales will be balanced. That knowledge gives comfort and strength to the righteous. Psalm 57 adds that God is also our refuge. He hides us in the shadow of his wings when pursued. He listens to our songs in the dark. He awakens the dawn for us. This dual nature, judge and refuge, is our foundation of hope. God is powerful enough to judge the whole earth and loving enough to care for one frightened person in a cave. He will bring down the corrupt. He will lift up the humble. These psalms empower us to face trials with courage and faith. In our personal caves, surrounded by lions, we can sing like David, trusting God as our refuge. Seeing injustice in the world, we hold fast to the promise of a judge who makes things right. There is a reward for the righteous. There is a song for the darkest night. There is a God who will ensure his glory. There is a God who will ensure his justice. There is a God who will ensure his love will cover all the earth.
Psalm 57, to the chief musician, set to "Do Not Destroy," a miktam of David when he fled from Saul into the cave.
Be merciful to me, O God. Be merciful to me. For my soul trusts in you. And in the shadow of your wings I will make my refuge until these calamities have passed by. I will cry out to God Most High. to God who performs all things for me. He shall send from heaven and save me. He reproaches the one who would swallow me up. God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. My soul is among lions. I lie among the sons of men who are set on fire, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have dug a pit before me. Into the midst of it, they themselves have fallen. My heart is steadfast, O God. My heart is steadfast. I will sing and give praise. Awake, my glory. Awake, lute and harp. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing to you among the nations. For your mercy reaches unto the heavens, and your truth unto the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth.
Psalm 58, to the chief musician, set to Do Not Destroy, a miktam of David.
Do you indeed speak righteousness, you silent ones? Do you judge uprightly, you sons of men? No. In heart you work wickedness. You weigh out the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf cobra that stops its ear, which will not heed the voice of charmers, charming ever so skillfully. Break their teeth in their mouth, O God. Break out the fangs of the young lions, O Lord. Let them flow away as waters which run continually. When he bends his bow, let his arrows be as if cut in pieces. Let them be like a snail which melts away as it goes, like a stillborn child of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the burning thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, as in his living and burning wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he sees the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, so that men will say, Surely there is a reward for the righteous. Surely he is God who judges in the earth.